Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the College Town Podcast. My name is Derek DeBerg, and with me is Sam Roth.
Hello.
This week, we talk about the playoff rankings. This is recorded before they come out, but we talk about our thoughts on them prior to them being released for the first time this year. We talk about Cooper Flagg to Duke. We talk about Michigan's sign-stealing scandal and all the paper that's there. We talk about the NFL threatening litigation against which school. You got to watch out. Watch to find out. And then we talk about Dion and his comments. Coach Prime.
Dion's got a new quote this week. And
Yes.
boy, oh boy, is it a fun one.
Then, of course, as always, we recap the week, and we do our game picks.
Yep.
All right, we'll see you in the podcast.
And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yes, do it.
Helps
please.
out the channel. We appreciate it. Enjoy this episode, guys.
Enjoy it. All right, everybody. It's that time of year. College football rankings are about to come out.
Yep, AP polls.
Yes. AP poll means nothing to us anymore.
Not anymore. It's all about that college football playoff poll.
Yes. Can't wait to see
Real implications.
Reese Davis and the crew argue for 6 weeks.
And one team really hurt their chances last week.
Yeah.
What a time to lose for Oklahoma.
What a time. What a time to be alive for Kansas.
Hey, yeah. First.
In the Sunshine State.
Yep, first time they beat an AP top 10 opponent at home while trailing in the fourth quarter. It's quite the stat.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
You know what? Good for Kansas. Their program's on the up and up.
I mean,
2 years ago was, I think, the first time they beat Texas, either at Texas, I think. I think it was at Texas. Texas was down, but also Kansas didn't have a good year 2 years ago.
Well, Kansas also has just been like the punching bag of the Big 12 for a while.
I'm in the punching bag of college football.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah.
And they've been able to kind of turn it around. I mean, like last year, they were decent, made a bowl game.
Last year, they were good.
They were undefeated for a period.
I think they started off 6-0.
They did.
And then
They had game day with them, too.
Jalen Daniels got hurt.
Yeah.
And then it kind of went downhill from there. But no, Lance Leipold is a great coach.
He's done a hell of a job.
Yeah. That was a very fun back and forth game.
Yeah.
That I didn't really get to watch all that intensely because pretty sure I had a lot of homework to do, but
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone can tell. I'm feeling so much better this week.
We'd
I
love
felt
to
like
hear it.
garbage last week. I did nothing from like Saturday to Wednesday of last week.
Oh, wow.
So like come Thursday, I was like, I've got a whole backlog of work I got to catch up on. So I was pretty busy on Saturday.
Right.
I watched some games. I watched Louisville. Had to watch that one. I get paid to watch that one.
There you go.
Watched Kentucky lose to Tennessee.
Yeah.
That felt great. And then I caught some bits of games here and there.
I was only able to watch Louisville versus Duke.
Yes. But I saw highlights of the Kansas-Oklahoma game. Very back and forth. I don't know how Kansas won.
It was the last minute I saw the highlights
They
of.
turned it over with like 2.5 minutes left. They threw an interception to Oklahoma.
Oh, wow.
Oklahoma had the ball, and then they tried to run out the clock, couldn't do anything, 3 and out. Only took up like 20-something seconds.
Wow.
Gave Kansas the ball back, just went right down and scored.
There you go.
With their backup quarterback, Bean. He's a solid backup for college.
Really?
You know? Yeah, absolutely. He's a clear step down from Jalen Daniels, but I mean, I think there's so many schools that would just love to have this guy. He's very good as far as a college quarterback goes. Maybe it's just that Lance Leipold is that good a coach, but there is a step down. But they're still very good with him in there.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
Fortunately and unfortunately for me, I was only able to watch one game because I was at the game. And then here locally we have a soccer team that's in a playoff race right now. So I went to that afterwards. And before that I was at work. So I had a pack-filled Saturday.
I'm not a soccer guy,
Yeah,
but you're talking about Lou City?
absolutely.
Lou City, aren't they in danger of not making the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time ever?
Well, that we just won 4-0 to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Oh, there we go. Got it.
So, just a little side note on Louisville City here, but since we're here, I'm going to talk about it. Louisville City has been around for 9 years. For 9 straight years, they've made the Eastern Conference Final.
Very good.
It's fun to watch. The whole league hates us, and I can see why.
Look at that.
Because we got the best team, the best facilities, and the best stadium. We're like the Yankees of the USL.
Huh.
Oh yeah, we're pretty dominant. We pay the most, get the best players.
You think they're going to bump up to MLB at some point? Or MLS at some point?
Never.
They're probably not going to go to the MLB.
It'll never go to the MLB, and I don't see them going to the MLS. It just won't happen. But side note, back
Yeah, there was a little
tangent.
sidebar there.
Yeah, back to college sports.
So Oklahoma, they got their first loss of the season.
What a horrible time to get your first loss of the season.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to lose, you want to lose early.
Yeah, they were one of the 6 teams undefeated still. Now we're down to 5. Washington, Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, Florida State. Think that's the 5 left.
James Madison, Air Force, and
Liberty. Right, but I see what you're saying, and let me rephrase. What I mean by that is who also have a realistic shot at the playoff.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean.
So now it's just down to Ohio State, Michigan. One of them is going to lose.
Yeah, one of them has to lose.
Yeah, so it's almost like if you're top of your conference right now, you control your own destiny to make the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. With Oklahoma out, might not see a Big 12 team in because of it.
Maybe.
You got Georgia,
Depends.
Ohio State or Michigan, Washington, and Florida State.
Man, Oregon's up there too.
Oregon, but they just lost to Washington.
Yeah,
Washington
but,
controls that.
I know, but in theory, you could see Oklahoma, you could see Oregon and Washington in the Pac-12 championship, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So they could play each other.
Yeah.
And so Oregon could get some revenge.
Do you just give recency bias in if you're on the committee?
Yes, it's almost always recency bias.
So most recently,
that's why you want to lose early in the season if you're going to lose it all. So
we'll see. Yeah, you're pretty passionate about that. Do you just want to? Let's just jump right into that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So what do you think about the playoffs?
Okay. Yeah.
What do we think?
Yeah, it's Monday as of recording this. By the time this comes up, later, Tuesday night, the first playoff rankings of this season will come out, and college football as a whole, just once they come out, they just kind of adopt it. They go away from the AP poll. They just start using the playoff poll, which is understandable. It's the one that's more important ultimately. But I don't think it's as accurate a poll, because if you look carefully at it, you can tell these are the teams that the playoff committee wants to get in the playoff. And if you go all the way down 1 through 25, they set it up that way. We're going to see if the playoff committee actually wants Florida State in the playoff based on where Louisville is going to be ranked. Because statistically, it's looking like Louisville and Florida State are going to play each other in the ACC championship. That's the most probable scenario.
Right, at the moment.
Yeah, and so if they really want Florida State in there, Louisville's going to be ranked pretty high. They're going to get a nod that people aren't expecting. Also, the first playoff rankings, they always just do something to get people to talk. Mississippi State was ranked number 1 year in the first playoff rankings, which is ridiculous. They lost the next week.
Was that the Dak Prescott year?
Yes.
Gotcha.
The first rankings are always just to get people talking, and then if you go down the line, it's just how can we build up these people's resumes that we want in the playoff.
I see.
like they'll throw a team in the like at the bottom, at like 24, 25. It's like why are they ranked? They shouldn't be ranked at all. But it's all about like, oh, well, they played this one team that's ranked number 3 in like 2 weeks, and they want that one team to get another ranked win under their belt.
See,
It's
you
like,
honestly believe this?
100%.
Okay.
Yes, I believe this.
It's almost sounding a little bit conspiracy theory-ish.
No, this is not. I mean, it is, but
Right.
it is a conspiracy theory. But it's true. No, just look at it. Like they will.
Okay, what are you predicting then? What do you think, and what do you think they think?
It depends on who they want in. I think they want Georgia in. I think they want probably Ohio State and Michigan in, if I had to guess. So Penn State might be ranked higher than people think, just so that it's a higher matchup. I could see Maryland being ranked. I doubt it. I doubt it. Maryland's not going to be ranked. But, I mean, like, let's say they want...
What SEC school do you think will prop up Georgia? Like Tennessee?
Texas A&M.
You think A&M's going to be ranked? Or you think they are going to rank A&M?
I think they could rank A&M
No way.
Because A&M plays Ole Miss.
Yeah.
If that's a ranked matchup, Ole Miss beats A&M. That boosts Ole
Ole
Miss
Miss.
resume. Ole Miss plays Georgia in the regular season. If Georgia beats Ole Miss, that boosts Georgia's resume even more.
So there's obviously 5 conferences that are vying for 4 spots.
Yeah.
So which conference do you think is going to take a hit from the polls that are going to come out tomorrow? If you had to pick one that's going to be hurt the most.
Probably the Big 12.
The Big 12, you think?
I think so.
So we're not going to see so Texas and Oklahoma are going to be ranked, obviously.
Yeah. And I don't...
And then
unless they like the Big 12, which I
mean, they
don't
all
know.
in our polls, in our opinions, we've got Big 12 teams that are borderline right now. It's obviously Texas and
absolutely.
Oklahoma, and then
then we've got Kansas State ranked because you've got them ranked so high.
I got them at like 22.
I think you've got them at like 20 or something. But I mean, they're in our poll because they got votes from.
I got them at 21.
21.
Yeah, so I've got 20.
And then we've also got Kansas ranked.
Yeah, I got Kansas 22, and then I got Oklahoma State 23.
Mm-hmm. So if they don't want, if they're not really super into Oklahoma or Texas, then they're not going to rank a lot of Big 12 teams. If they do like Oklahoma and Texas, it depends on who they like more. Mm-hmm. If Kansas State's ranked and Oklahoma State's not, it's because they want Texas in.
Right.
If Oklahoma State's ranked, Kansas not, it's because they want Oklahoma in. Mm. This is a theory I've held for a long time.
Really?
And I do not waver in my belief of this theory.
Fair enough.
Because it absolutely is correct.
Fair enough.
Just pay attention, people. Open your eyes. Open your eyes. That's all I'm asking.
Oh, okay. So I'll ask you this. Who's the best team right now with 1 loss?
Best team with 1 loss?
Right now. I've got my pick.
I think it's Oregon.
Yeah, that's who I got too.
Yeah, I mean, I like Oregon quite a bit, and their loss is to Washington, who Washington has been in some close matchups, sure, but I think, like, they're college kids, I think they don't...
I mean, if you find a way to win, fair enough on you.
Yeah, if you find a way to win, but also I think they're just trying to, like, stay up enough to survive games, but also they're like, we don't want to... We're just waiting to play USC. I think that's Washington's mindset right now.
I got you. All right, so let's just have fun with it. Who are your 4 right now that are in? If you were to make
in the playoff, Florida State, Michigan, Georgia, probably Ohio State.
Ohio State?
Yeah.
So Washington's on the outside?
As of now, yeah.
I agree.
I think it's simply because of the last 2 weeks.
Yep.
If they would have had solid wins,
mm-hmm.
but like not play it so close,
mm-hmm.
I give Washington the nod over someone.
I hear you.
But, yeah, I mean that's all it is.
Yeah, it's just They've been getting sloppy.
Yep.
Still finding ways to win, but still getting sloppy.
I still think they're really good. I just think it's hard for them to get up for these games.
Right. Let's see. What else do we got going on?
Yeah.
What do you want to go to next?
Let's talk about the games that we watched. Duke and Louisville.
Yeah.
A great game. Great game for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Question mark on if Riley Leonard should have played, or was going to play, I should say.
Yeah.
The line moved because it was ruled that he probably wouldn't play, so it went from us, Louisville, as a 3-point favorite to a 6-point favorite.
Mm-hmm.
And so that shifted, and then it ended up he did play, and he didn't
matter.
look great. They didn't seem like Duke couldn't move the ball against Louisville's defense.
Yeah, so here I would say it's two things. I think Louisville's defense played fantastic.
Yeah, they did.
Absolutely fantastic. But at the same time, I can't say that and not acknowledge the fact that Duke's left tackle out for the game.
Ooh.
Before the game. He was the second most experienced player on that O-line. Their right guard got hurt mid-game, knocked out of the game. He was their most experienced player on their O-line. So that's their two most experienced guys out. Also, Riley Leonard was injured.
He wasn't 100%.
Yeah, you can't say anything otherwise. He was not 100%. So you take a guy, you limit him a little bit mobily. He could still get around.
Right.
I mean, he made some really good cuts in the game. Like he was still fast, but clearly not 100%. And then you just take away his two most experienced linemen.
Yeah.
And an aggressive Louisville defense. That's a disaster.
Yeah.
Louisville made him one-dimensional very quickly.
1,000%.
And then
it didn't seem like they got the ball past our half of the field till about the fourth quarter.
They did not.
It looked like that. I'm not sure exactly. I was watching.
No, they did, but I think
there was no point.
I'm not going to definitively say that. I know
there was no point in time where I thought they're in field goal range.
No, they never were.
Right.
There was the closest they got to the end zone was like the 30-something, and that was the last play of the game. When it was garbage time, they had all the backups in. They just threw a long pass.
Right.
They never got in the red zone.
Wow, that's very impressive.
Yeah.
Also, just a note, Gerard Jordan is that guy.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
My goodness, was he good?
I think good.
What summarizes it is his one touchdown where he carried 4 Duke players into the end zone with him.
Yeah.
After being met at the 3 or 4 yard line.
Gerard Jordan is just a great all-around back. He's super fast. He's
ball catcher.
Super fluid with his first cut. He's great at
seeing
the field.
An edge.
And he's stronger than people. He doesn't look that strong, but he's definitely stronger than you would think.
He's fantastic.
Yeah.
So glad to have him. I think that was the difference in the Pitt game, too. We didn't have him.
Yep. That was definitely
and it's kind of unfortunate to say that, but yeah.
I mean, that was a factor.
That was the only game I was able to watch this week, but hey.
Yeah, a quick note on the ACC race. I kind of alluded to it earlier before. Louisville this week on Saturday plays Virginia Tech. Louisville and Virginia Tech are 2-3 in the ACC standings right now with 1 loss.
It's a big game.
Which is shocking that Virginia Tech has 1 loss.
It's also,
they look terrible to start the year.
To be fair, it's preseason-wise, I wouldn't expect Louisville to be here either. It's 2 teams I was not expecting to be here. I thought it would be Florida, UNC, and Clemson.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's there with you.
Yeah.
Louisville preseason was projected to finish 8th in the ACC.
That's, yeah.
Yeah, and so...
Pleasant surprises.
Yeah, so that's a massive game for the ACC. The thing about it is every team below them has 2 or more losses.
Oh, really?
So because one of these teams is going to win, one of these teams is going to go to 2 losses, Florida State only has 2 ACC games left. Mm-hmm. They just have to win 1 and they clinch a spot in the ACC title game.
Yep.
Also, for Louisville, the path gets really easy. Here's why it's statistically much easier for Louisville to make it to the ACC championship, because both Louisville and Virginia Tech control their own destiny here. But if Louisville beats Virginia and then the week after that I mean, it beats Virginia Tech, and the week after that beats Virginia. Florida State beats Miami, and then North Carolina drops a game.
Mm-hmm.
There's 2 weeks left in the regular season. Louisville and Florida State have already clinched the spots in the ACC championship game.
Really?
That's a very likely scenario, yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. But
so,
they still got to go out and do the job.
Yes.
Both teams do.
Yeah, so that's just a quick little tidbit on the ACC race. Some SEC news. Georgia throttled Florida, which, by the way, it's not in Gainesville, Georgia. I was wrong about that. It's in Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, okay.
There is a Gainesville, Georgia.
Gotcha.
I know that for a fact. But they play that game in Jacksonville every year.
Okay.
Which makes a whole lot more sense.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, I was always like...
When you said Gainesville, I was like, I know Gainesville, Florida is where Florida plays.
Yeah. Well, it's just like
I
in my
didn't know there was
mind...
a Gainesville, Georgia.
I always thought it was Gainesville, Georgia, where they played. And I was like, why is there a stadium in Gainesville, Georgia? Like, what's the purpose of that? It's Jacksonville, which makes a whole lot more sense.
Yeah.
And then Tennessee beat Kentucky. Both teams were 5-2 when they met.
Mm-hmm.
That one stings for Kentucky, and then Tennessee kind of.
You don't know what to think about that one.
No, I'm happy about that one.
Fair enough.
Trust me, I'm happy about that outcome. Devin Leary looked good in that game.
Really?
Shocking, because he has not looked good all year.
No, he's supposed to be a top transfer, and he has not looked the part.
Devin Leary looked good in that game.
That's good.
Mm-hmm. The defense did not for Kentucky, and that was the difference.
Big win for Fresno State.
Yeah, Fresno State beat UNLV. So now Fresno State is sitting at number 2 in the Mountain West.
Behind Air Force, who they lost to. So
and then Oregon beat Utah.
By a lot.
Yeah, essentially eliminates Utah from the playoff picture. And
cements Oregon right now as the second best team in the Pac-12.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, because USC sucks.
Yeah.
You could argue right now that maybe UCLA is the third best team in the Pac-12. You could kind of argue that.
Oregon State, maybe.
I would say it's between UCLA and like Utah.
Utah, yeah. I mean, you can't forget about Utah. Utah is still
their
good
defense
is still great despite giving up
35. But it is one of the top offenses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I mean, I think what's so impressive about that win for Oregon is that it was at Utah. Utah is such a hard place to go in and win.
College game day too, massive environment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean they got a lot of fans there.
So, a little tidbit note on it. Reese Davis basically said, we didn't want to follow Oregon 2 weeks in a row because they were at Washington, Oregon, and they went to Oregon, Utah. If it wasn't for Louisville losing the Pit, they would have been at the Louisville-Duke game. They basically said that. If Louisville beats Pitt, game day would have been here.
Darn.
Because those were the only 2 ranked matchups of the week.
Yeah. Makes sense. I know they don't. I've heard Reese Davis say in the past that they don't like to have a team multiple times on game day, but sometimes
you got to.
Yeah, it's like no one else is playing.
Right.
But yeah.
All right. You want to go hit the news?
Yes, let's do it.
All right. Everyone, we got a new white boy to hate in college basketball coming up.
Yeah.
Because Cooper Flagg, the number 1 recruit in the 2024 class, has committed to Duke. It was between Duke and UConn. Really thought Hurley was going to get it done. I really thought he was going to pull it out and get the top recruit.
Yeah, I know he's pretty... He has some sort of relationship with Donovan Klingon. I thought that was going to seal the deal. I guess not. It's going to Duke.
Nope, going to Duke. Man, maybe that's why he got the massive extension.
Because they knew he was going to...
They're like, oh, he's bringing this guy.
Flagg.
He's bringing Cooper Flagg to town.
Well,
we better tie this man down.
You're Duke's coach. You could just sleepwalk and get guys.
I mean, they're saying this guy's different, Cooper Flagg. So...
Yeah, I mean, he's very...
It seems like he's going to be very good,
very
and
highly touted.
I hate that for college basketball.
Yeah. Well, I hate that because we're going to have to play him. Louisville.
I think it's... Honestly,
not us.
No.
But Louisville.
I gave up my hope of playing professional basketball in 8th grade once I saw kids dunk and I could barely touch the net. Yeah. What else is there?
There's more news about the Michigan sign stealing scandal, which you actually know more about me than me.
Basically, there's just a massive paper trail. All the evidence in the world supports. You know how like you joke with your friends on Venmo on how you put in like these memos and messages of like why you're paying for stuff and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, Connor Stallion basically on his Venmo just says like the day before Georgia plays like Alabama, it says Georgia game, or it. I mean. That's just like one example, but the paper trail is just so obvious. Of 12 out of the 13 Big Ten schools have records of him on with his credit card, evidence of him buying tickets to their games. 12 out of the 13 Big Ten schools.
Paying cash, man. What are you doing?
I mean, it might be a cashless world we live in. Guy going SeatGeek, or whatever to get you tickets now.
You can
I mean, if you know you're going to be doing this and cheating, and you've got to be smarter, but at the same time, like, it's just massive. Like, he went to games to cheat, and not only did they do that, they also scouted other college football potential playoff teams and scouted for their signs. It got so bad that in the college football playoff last year, TCU was contacted by multiple Big Ten schools and was basically like, hey, they're going to steal your signs. And so what did TCU did? They came up with dummy signs just for that game. And what happened? TCU won that game.
Yeah, because Michigan clearly didn't know what was coming.
Yeah.
Okay. If you are doing this, if you're sending an analyst, which for all those who don't know, there's a cap on the number of coaches that you can hire in college sports. So a lot of these big-time football programs and some big-time basketball programs too, they'll just hire a ton of people under the name analyst. They're another coach. That's all it is. They're a coach. So to have a coach go to these places and illegally record and steal signs for teams that you're going to play, be smarter about it.
Right.
Pay in cash. Don't have them wearing all Michigan stuff.
It's almost like you don't want to be recognized when you're when you're stealing signs. Like, what is this Michigan fan doing at a Northwestern Minnesota game?
You said someone went to the Duke Louisville game dressed like head to toe in Michigan gear.
It was a funny joke.
That's hilarious. Clearly not someone trying to steal Duke's or Louisville signs, but unless
who knows?
They think they're going to meet Louisville in the Orange Bowl. But
the jokes were so funny because right as soon as it came out about this, it was right before the Penn State-Ohio State game that they suspended Connor Stallion with pay. And they're like, yeah, you got to suspend him with pay. How else is he going to make it to the Penn State-Ohio State game today? Like people, the internet's funny, man.
Oh, there's a lot of people with too much time on their hands, and I love it.
Oh, it's fantastic.
That's what we are right here.
No kidding.
But yeah, like it was immediately obvious since the second that the story broke, it was like, oh yeah, Michigan's cheating. Yeah. It was so obvious. They suspended him. They suspended the guy
with pay right away.
Super obvious. Like, okay, obviously you know it was wrong. Rumor really came out, and Michigan was like, we're going to fight the NCAA because this is wrong. They instantly were like, look, we're going to cooperate.
Right. And then the other thing, dude, the paper trail is just binders full, I bet. It's ridiculous.
It really, it's like
goodness.
It's like the FBI just like looking through someone's Venmo and it just says wire fraud.
Yeah. Were you cheating? No. Why were you at the Georgia game? I just love me a good game of college football, Just love it.
If that man were really committed to Michigan football, his answer to every single question when he gets interrogated is affair.
Dude,
it's going to be a fair for every single one.
Dude, it was so funny. A little side note. Oh, speaking of like interrogation, so and it's funny that you mentioned it. I was at the Louisville Duke game, right? And where I sit is like 3 rows up from like the new expansion in the end zone, right?
Yes.
So I sit there, and we had some open seats in front of us and stuff, like second row and the first row and stuff. No one sit there all year so far, but there's these kids. I want to say like middle school kids. It was like 6 of them, and they said they were with their coach. Well, they sit down immediately. One of them just flips a quarter over the edge into the lower section into the stands. And I say it like, hey, guys, don't do that. Be smart. It's not worth getting thrown out over this. Well, you know, like the one kid I told that to hands his quarter off to his friend, and his friend immediately throws it over. And then
your section just attracts degenerates.
No. And then
like
get
that guy
this.
who tried to fight me at your section.
No, and then get this. Literally, within like 30 minutes, the police are contacted, right?
Yeah.
And they're up there. They're like, they look at these 6 kids. They're like, where's your people? They're like, where's our coach? Our coach is right over there, or whatever. Da, 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 da. They're like, come with us. And then they come talk to the coach. They come back and sit back down. And rather than sitting in front, they sit like right next to me because I had like 2 seats open next to me. It says to them, I was like, y'all good? And they're like, yeah. They said that we were throwing quarters over the edge. And I was like, I looked at the kid. I looked at the kid. I was like, yeah, because you guys were. He goes, I didn't throw any quarters. I was like, that's how you lessen your sentence right there when you get interrogated. You go from 10 to 5 right there. I didn't do it, but they did.
It's one of the first things they tell you in law school. Nobody talks, everybody walks.
No, literally within 5 minutes later, they were all kicked out. Their coach was so pissed. He's like, "What the did you all do?" Like,
nobody talks, everybody walks.
It was so funny and so disappointing all at once.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. Sorry, a little side note.
No, that's good. You've got, again, like I said, you've got a section of degenerates over there.
Oh, I don't remember the dude trying to fight you.
I know, because you didn't pay attention at all.
Sorry.
You didn't have any clue until that guy was like...
It's another Saturday, but you're in Wazoo land. I don't know. Like, people trying to... I'm staying in my lane here, okay?
I was just clapping. I was trying to make noise whenever Florida State had the ball. That's all it was.
Yeah.
Because, you know...
Oh, that's right. I forgot about this.
To describe the situation, I was sitting with this man in his
lovely
tickets.
Section.
Yeah. I was trying to get loud whenever the opposing team, who happened to be Florida State, had the ball, because that's smart. It's what you do.
When was this? Last year?
This was last year, yeah.
Gotcha.
You want to get loud so that it's harder for someone to make audibles. It's harder to communicate to your offense.
You're trying to be the 12th man out there.
Exactly. It's smart. And then these people that just showed up in the second half didn't even sit in those seats.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
start
all
coming back together.
Yeah, they start like very clearly passive aggressively, like loudly speaking, or like, God, this guy won't shut up. Like, they want me to hear.
Yeah.
And they're just complaining and complaining and complaining, and I'm not saying anything to him. And eventually, the wife, it was like these 2 couples. Mm. One couple was silent; they didn't say anything. But this other couple was, they were
right,
very vocal. And eventually, the wife of the one couple that was talking was like, "Is he doing this on purpose?" And so I just turned around and I was like, "Yes." And then I just turned back and started watching the game. And then they kept talking because they were pissed at me because I kept making noise. And then eventually, I guess they got mad and they got up and left because they weren't their seats in the first place. And the guy was like, "Go ahead, buddy, clap your ass off now." And I was like, "Cool." That's it.
Imagine being a fan at a football game and people getting mad.
Yeah. God.
Those weren't real fans. That's not our section. I will say, behind us now, we got some great regulars. They're pretty fun.
Yeah. Well.
So you ain't got to worry about them anymore.
Yeah, enough complaining about Louisville fans.
I wasn't complaining. I was like, hey kids, I'm in your corner to a certain extent. I'm not going to laugh to you, but be smart.
Yeah. All right. Well. Moving on from Michigan.
Yeah.
We've also got the NFL threatening to sue University of Houston, for their Oilers-inspired jerseys.
Yep. Most definitely inspired. Definitely not the thing.
Yeah.
Wait, you can't have baby blue and red and white now? What's the deal? In Houston? I don't know. Prove it. Prove it to me that they're
Yeah.
Oilers. Other than the fact they look pretty much identical
Yeah,
to
they're
our Oilers.
Great jerseys.
Oh, they
I mean,
look
they're-
fantastic.
Yeah, they're great jerseys.
Look slick out there.
They're very clean, but
Mhm.
yeah, they can't wear those anymore.
Oh,
I mean,
they can't. They just forfeit, gave up on it because they were threatening to sue.
There's no way they're gonna. Are you? If you're Houston, are you seriously gonna poke the bear when you're like?
Well, the NFL only owns like a day of the week in fall. It's not like they're that big.
Yeah, so they're not going to wear those anymore.
I think they should just change it like a shade of blue, like just one enough to where like all the guys won't notice, but all the girls will. Apparently that's the thing. Girls can see better shades of colors than guys, but
On average, yeah, it has to do with the rods and cones in your eyes.
word. So they should do that. Be like they're different.
No, I mean,
Then really get at them.
people tend to have like programs tend to have lawyers that work for them, either directly or like contract. Hire out lawyers.
Mhm.
There's no way a lawyer is going to let them do this.
Why not?
You can't.
I don't know.
The NFL is going to sue the bejesus out of you.
All I'm saying is that Houston is willing to buy themselves into the ACC for no costs, no revenues. They definitely have the donors to fight the NFL.
That's SMU.
Wrong school. Never mind.
Same state.
Yeah, different area.
No, I mean they got some big money donors too.
Houston's a big city. Yeah.
It is the fourth biggest city, I believe, in the country.
Behind LA, Chicago, and New York.
Yep.
There you
go. It's a sprawling city. For those of you who don't know, sprawl is a negative word. Anyway.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
You want cities to be compact.
Dude, it's a big city.
It's a very large city. Yeah, they're never wearing those. I mean, this is kind of a quick one-off story, honestly. They're just not going to wear those jerseys anymore.
They were cool while they lasted.
For entertainment and chaos sake, I'm hoping they're like, you know what, screw it. We're just going to straight up come out in Oilers jerseys.
One more time. Different shade of blue. Why not?
No, I want them to come out in Oilers jerseys. That's it. That's what I want them to do. But
my goodness,
they're not going to do that. And then finally, you again know more about this than me. Deion Sanders made some.
Oh,
he made some more comments that
it's a great and awful quote all in one.
Yeah, I'll let you say the quote before.
Oh
before
my
we
goodness,
really get into
I gotta find it.
All right, I'll give the summary, the breakdown. He was asked about during a press conference. Deion Sanders was asked about the play of his offensive line, which, as we all know, has not been very good. I flagged it like a lot of people.
I got it right here.
Yeah, week one flagged like immediately like O-line, D-line, they are not there yet.
So Deion Sanders, after their game against UCLA, was asked a question about his offensive line, and they're basically struggling to protect Shedeur Sanders, who is his son, and basically said, I'm going to paint the big picture for you. What you do is you get new linemen. That's the picture, and I'm going to paint it perfectly. Which, there's a couple of things I think are wrong with this quote right here.
Yeah, he's a great speaker.
Oh, he's fantastic. But one, to note, he went out and handpicked all these guys to come and play for him.
I mean, yes and no. Like, he did rebuild the roster from scratch, off from a 1-11 team.
Right.
So it's not like it's. I don't think it's this idea like that a lot of people have presented. Kind of this revisionist history of like, oh, he went out and he literally cherry picked every single player. I mean, because he's Deion Sanders.
He recruited this O-line.
Yeah, no, but I mean, because he's Deion Sanders, he did get better talent than should have been afforded to him.
Right.
For a 1-11 school, but they were still 1-11.
Right.
But it's not like they were getting the cream of the crop.
Right. So what I was gonna say is he basically went out and got these guys. Mm-hmm. It's his line. I feel like offensive line is one of those jobs where it's a collective five, like that need to gel. It takes time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the offensive line is a plug and play position where you can just go out and get talent and then say make it work and it's going to work. It takes time to know that this guy's going to do this and this guy can do this and so on and so forth. And I feel like that's how you build a successful offensive line. Also, this offensive line still's got to protect your son for another 4 games.
Yeah.
So you're saying, how would you feel if your coach basically just came out and said, you know what, we're replacing you. You're done. After this year, you're going to finish out these games, but you're done and we're going to replace you. Would you want to protect his son who's throwing the ball for you? Because you're done.
Yeah.
I'm going to replace you. So, does it matter?
I think I would not be shocked to see before the regular season ends, honestly. If some of these guys are like, yeah, I'm going to transfer out anyway. Like, I don't need to.
No,
I don't
honestly.
need my coach saying I'm going to get replaced to reporters, you know? So
right.
I could see some of these guys transferring out.
Like, there's no reason to say this quote publicly.
Yeah.
There's no reason. There's something to say behind closed doors where it's like, hey, you're not up to snuff.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Fix it. But then to say it to the whole public, and plus when your coach is Dion, it just gets magnified by times 10.
Yeah. I don't know. I could see some of these guys being like, well, no, I'm just going to work harder. And then I'm going to...
this is motivation?
For some of them. Wrong? For some of them. I could see either way, honestly.
I mean, honestly, what's stopping me from just becoming a revolving door as an offensive lineman? You know, if I'm done. You know? What if it's just a guy's senior year? You know you're not going pro.
Yeah.
Revenge. Why not?
I don't know.
What's the stop
gonna get benched?
Oh, I'm done. What does it matter?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I see what you're saying.
It's just a poor quote.
You're right. You should not. It's like what we were saying about with Stoops a couple weeks ago, where he was just trying to, get donors to
cough up more money.
Put money in. Yeah,
we need more money to go get these players.
Yeah, saying like, oh, we don't have the players to compete.
Right.
It's like, I know what he's trying to do. I know what he's saying, but at the same time, the way it could come across is our guys, we don't have good enough players.
Right.
We can't win because our players aren't good enough. And they lost to Tennessee. Yeah. I think it's the only game they played since that quote came out. And so, or they might have played against Missouri as well, but they haven't won a game since that quote came out. The more games you lose when that happens, the more people are going to turn on you because they're like, well, he said we're not good enough anyway. So,
right. I mean, it is a morale thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And so much of college sports is just managing
team morale.
Energy and morale. Yeah.
It's team morale. There definitely is a big equation in talent, and there's a big equation in coaching.
Yes.
But I mean, it's just like, what are you saying?
Yeah. And this is a lot of why people.
It is
when they lost so handily to Oregon, so many people were so happy. I think a lot of it is because preseason, he basically came out to his team and was like, look, you guys won one game last year. A lot of you aren't playing. And we're hitting the transfer portal.
No, as soon as he got hired as coach, he goes, I'm just going to let y'all know what I'm bringing in is Louis. It's Gucci. It is all nice. So if you ain't a part of it, get out. And I'm like, and you know what's also interesting is I feel like he's the only coach that's able to do that. He's one of the few coaches that can go, you know what, screw all y'all. I'm just going to bring in my people.
Yeah.
Rather than, imagine a coach coming into a program and you're just like, you know what, all y'all suck. I'm just going to replace all y'all. No other coach really has that recruiting ability to just go clean slate.
He flames out as a coach. He's still Dion.
Yeah.
So, he can do that. But
do you think there's an argument to be made that once his sons are gone that he just is like, this ain't for me? Do you think this is like daddy ball at the highest level?
No, because I don't think so. I don't think so. Because he was coaching Jackson State before
I don't
his
think
kids
he
were in
was.
college. Yeah.
Really?
He was there for 3 years.
Oh.
So
Well,
he was there before his kids were in college, I think. But yeah, I don't think that's what it is. But
don't worry. They'll feed this video to the team and they'll take it personally.
yeah. All right, well,
That's
move
all.
on. I think that's all the news. There's not a lot of news this week.
Nope, just Michigan cheating a lot.
Yes.
All right. So your picks
Yes. Welcome
to the lowest scoring week of the season.
Yes. Yes.
Who would have thunk?
Yeah, how did we do last week?
We're +2.
We were +2.
Oh, like this week we were like as in like last week in these games?
Yeah, but these games.
Yeah, these games you were +2 because you picked a team that hasn't won a game and they still haven't won a game. So it's a -1 with 2 buys.
Yes, that's correct. I picked Sam Houston. I really thought they would get it done against UTEP. They did not.
Yeah.
I was wrong about that one. Well. Oh, well. You win some, you lose some. You're going to win most of them when you're with me, when you're with this guy.
We still haven't hit a parlay yet.
Well, relax. If you would have hopped on the bandwagon earlier.
Did you ever get a +6?
Yeah.
You got
once.
one. You got one +6.
Yeah.
All right.
But sports gambling wasn't legal then. So,
all right.
look, for those of you who don't know, I'm a fiduciary. I went to fiduciary school.
All right.
I'll
help
Warren
you.
Buffett fed me formula in Nebraska. That's how I learned everything.
All right, Warren Buffett, baby. Here's the recap of your week.
Yes.
You had Sam Houston, SMU, Arkansas, Nebraska, Toledo, and Liberty.
Yes.
Sam Houston was your one downfall. They lost to UTEP 34-37. Arkansas and Toledo were your buys for the week, so they were just a hold at that point.
Yes. Had to hold Arkansas.
Yep.
Chose to hold Toledo.
And then you also had SMU absolutely destroying Tulsa 69-10. SMU looks damn good, I'll say.
Yes.
Nebraska beat Purdue 31-14. Looked really good there. And undefeated Liberty, still on their winning ways, beating local us, Western Kentucky.
Yes.
42-29.
Yes.
So not bad on all. You're 3-1 on the week. Gives you a +2. Lowest scoring total, but also the buys didn't do you any favors.
Correct.
So-
I would have been +4? Would have been +4. Had I
And
just got
second perfect.
Arkansas and Toledo.
Yep. So who do we have as the holds this
Well,
week?
First hold. I'm going to go SMU.
Why not?
They've looked fantastic. I mean, yes, they're beating nobodies. But also,
They're nobodies in their conference.
absolutely beating down these nobodies. Oh, my God. Their next game is Rice, who I do think Rice is okay. I think I like a lot of their talent. But
SMU is a 11.5-point favorite against
Yeah.
them.
I think SMU, Rice can't keep up with the ponies. And
No one can right now in that division.
yeah,
It'll
this
be-
Pony Express just keeps on a chugging.
It's looking like a SMU Tulane championship game.
Yes. Next, we're going to do Arkansas because I have to hold them. But I'm happy to hold them. They play Florida.
They play the Gators.
The Florida Gators
Six
in
and-
Gainesville.
6.5-point underdogs. They are
Yeah.
against the mighty Gators.
Coming off a bye.
You love coming off a bye.
When the coach is good.
Yeah. They put up a good fight against Alabama, and then they only scored 3
They
points
put up
against
a good fight against Texas A&M. No, not Texas A&M. Against Ole Miss and Alabama.
Yeah.
And then they
3 straight losses. Do you think they can right
have
the ship?
6 straight losses.
Ooh.
They are 2-6 right now.
And you bought them.
I bought them at 2-5. I thought there's no way I can get lower than this.
Buying low, and it just got lower.
Buy low, sell slightly higher.
All right, so we
Yeah.
got SMU, Arkansas as holds. Any other holds?
Liberty, I also have to hold them. So we're going to keep on holding them, but it's fine. They're playing at home. They play Louisiana Tech. Louisiana Tech's not that good this year.
16.5-point favorites Liberty are
Yeah.
against.
That's one of them. If I lose, then it's a -2 on the point total there. That's a scary one.
Why is it -2?
Because the whole spread thing.
Oh, we're doing
It hasn't hit at all. That hasn't mattered.
Oh, I didn't know we were doing it, but okay.
yeah, it doesn't.
Mm.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
it's a little inside baseball. I guess it doesn't really matter. Anyway,
All right. Any other holds for you?
I do have some other holds. Sam Houston.
You got to hold
I
them.
gotta hold him. And guess what?
What?
They're playing an FCS school.
Yep.
They're gonna get it done. I know it. I just know they are. Kennesaw State. Kennesaw State down there in Kennesaw, Georgia, which is just outside of Atlanta. So it's basically Atlanta. But it's not they're not playing at Kennesaw. They're playing at Sam Houston State, wherever that place is located.
I can't even find this game on the betting app.
That's not good.
I can't even find
That's
it.
not good.
It-
This is basically two FCS schools playing each other.
At this rate, yeah. I mean, like, what does Sam Houston have to play for this season? They're
A-
ineligible
a
for
win.
a bowl.
I don't know. You know what? Just out of curiosity, I'm going to look up what the record was last year, in their last year of FCS football. Their record was 5-4.
I can't find this game.
I guess you shouldn't bet it then. I don't know.
Well, I don't think I can.
Boo-hoo.
Anyway.
Boo-hoo.
It's probably for the best. It's
Yeah.
a team that
they
hasn't
went
won a game.
5-4 in their last year in the FCS. That's not a school that should be moving up.
Nope. Well, I think they're showing that they shouldn't have.
Yeah.
So, Sam Houston, you got SMU, Liberty,
Arkansas.
and Arkansas. So, we got Toledo and Nebraska left.
Yes. I'm going to hold Toledo. I didn't have to hold them through the bye week, but
Why
I
not?
liked what I saw. They're playing Buffalo at Toledo.
15.5-point favorites
God.
tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m.
They're playing, really, Tuesday night game
Tuesday night.
for all those who love the age-old tradition of Tuesday night football.
Honestly, I'm loving it. I'm loving watching Jacksonville State on Tuesday nights.
It's nice.
Look forward to it.
Rich Rod
Yep.
going out there and blowing out teams.
Yeah.
They're actually not really blowing anyone out. I don't
No,
think.
but
yeah, they're winning.
It's fun games to watch on a Tuesday night.
So, going to keep Toledo, their coach with the super long beard. That might be Kent State, actually, now that I think about it. But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I don't watch them enough.
Forget it. He's rolling.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm holding Nebraska, too.
Well, no changes this
There's
week.
zero changes in this portfolio of
They
mine.
play Michigan State at noon.
Michigan State at noon at Michigan State. East Lansing.
Nebraska's a 3-point favorite.
They're a 3-point favorite. That means Vegas thinks they're 6 points better.
Wow, you're really good at getting close to the devil's number on these. It's plus 663 on this one.
That
For
line will
$1?
change. That line will change.
For $1, we win $6.64.
And it's going to hit.
One can hope.
I feel confident. Actually, no, I don't. I have Arkansas. I forgot about Arkansas.
Against Florida.
Yeah. I don't think Florida's that good, but
They're better than Arkansas, you think?
I didn't think Arkansas was going to fire their offensive coordinator after I got him.
Man, you really know how to pick them in the mud, don't you?
Yeah.
Picking Arkansas in an FCS school who moved up and hasn't won a game.
A team that should not have moved up, that clearly took the opportunity of realignment.
I can't believe you're advising me right now. Who elected you leader of this outfit?
Leader of the outfit?
Yeah. It's a Django reference.
I've seen Django. I don't recall that one.
Fair enough. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
well.
a little quote. But yeah, there are Derek's picks for the week.
There are my 6 winners. 5, because you can't bet on
Sam Houston.
Sam Houston and Kennesaw State.
My goodness.
But I feel good.
Oh, well.
They'll win. Sam Houston will win. There's no way. There's no way they're going to lose.
Do they lose? They go 0-8?
They're 0-8 now.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
I thought they were 0-7.
No, they're it's worse. It's worse than that.
And let's see if it's about to get worse.
Yeah. There's no way, though.
It's very rare you see people jump on a sinking ship like this.
But when there's gold aboard, I'm your man.
Oh, brother. You want to get to the games this week?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
All right. Our weekly pick'ems.
Yep.
Which you guys suck at it. You're terrible. You've been in last place all
you guys
year
are
long.
So bad. Yeah,
but-
so the recap right now, I am in the lead with 69 wins. Derek is second with 65, and the fans are in last with 63.
Terrible. Trash. Awful. Bad. Skill issue. Anyway,
Ratio.
Yeah, L plus ratio. All right. Let's get into these picks.
All right.
First game, we got Ohio State versus Rutgers. Rutgers is 6-2.
Really?
Yeah.
I was wondering why this game was picked.
Yeah. Look, Rutgers is coming off a bye. You know I love a bye. I think Shiano's a solid coach. I just think they're going to get overwhelmed by Ohio State.
Yep. Give me Ohio State. I don't think there's much of a question here.
Yeah. All right, next we got Kansas State versus Texas. This is a ranked matchup.
Yeah, it is.
But we'll see if it remains a ranked matchup. We'll see who the playoff committee wants in the playoffs.
Right. I like Kansas State in this one. I think Texas is a good football team. Just question marks if Quentin Ewers is going to be back for this one after going out against who did they play last week?
Was it Houston?
Might
Did you get
have
hurt
been.
during Houston?
It might have been.
Yeah, because they played BYU. last week. Yeah.
And Kansas State has been kind of rolling.
Yeah.
Kind of
Mhm.
picking up steam,
If
looking
you
pretty decent.
Look back at it, their two losses are against Missouri, who's 7-1,
Mm-hmm.
and Oklahoma State, who they're rolling right now too.
They are rolling.
So
My goodness, are they?
I'm picking Kansas State in this one.
Yep.
I like Kansas State. Love Chris Kleiman. Big Chris Kleiman guy. I think he's a great coach. Give me the Wildcats.
Gotcha.
All right, next up we got Texas A&M at Ole Miss. This could be a make or break for Dabo.
I think he's already done.
We'll see. But I mean they're 5-3 right now. Texas A&M is 5-3.
About to be 5-4. Give me Ole Miss in this one. The Rebels are gonna keep on chugging.
Yeah, I'm taking Ole Miss. It just seemed like they're a team with more of a pulse, and also it's at Ole Miss. It's at Oxford, so I think the home field advantage is going to mean the difference in this one. Next, we've got Penn State versus Maryland. Two teams that, even though Penn State only lost one game a couple weeks ago, it feels like they're kind of falling a little bit.
I don't think so. I just think they ran into a better team and lost. I mean, like,
Yeah, but they also played a real close one with Indiana.
yeah, but I don't know. On paper, Penn State looks better. Give me Penn State.
Yeah. I'm thinking if Maryland had just kept winning after Ohio State,
Uh-huh.
I would be very inclined to take Maryland in this one. But they have lost 3 straight games, and I don't think this is their get-right game. I'm taking Penn State. Next, we've got Oklahoma versus Oklahoma State. Bedlam, baby. It's Bedlam.
You bet
Might
it
be
is.
the last year of it.
Really?
At
this
least,
is the one that's going to be sacrificed for Oklahoma going to the E SEC.
yeah, at least while Gundy's still there.
Oh.
And it seems like he's going to die on the sideline at Oklahoma State. So, yeah, it might be gone for a while.
Well, he's on that sideline watching Ollie Gordon II absolutely torch defenses.
Yeah. Oh, my God. That man, like,
I
we talked about this before.
Yeah.
He's absurd.
This man is so underrated and not being talked about enough.
What is it, like the last, I think the lowest amount of yards he's got in the last either 4 or 5 games is 121 yards.
Yeah, his last 2 games he ran for more than 200 yards.
More than 250.
Yeah. why this guy is not being talked about in college football is ridiculous right now. And partially because of him and just because of the hype, give me Oklahoma State in this one.
Yeah, I think had Oklahoma not lost, I probably would pick Oklahoma State because it's at Oklahoma State. It's going to be a big emotional rivalry. I'm just big on well-coached teams bouncing back after a loss.
Right.
And it looks like they're a well-coached team. It looks like Brent Venables is a good head coach. And so because they lost last week to Kansas, I'm going to take Oklahoma in this one.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Gotcha.
division for the first time. Next, we've got Kansas versus Iowa State. Iowa State sneakily
Looking
somehow tied at first place in the Big 12 with like 4 other teams.
Yeah.
There's like 4 teams that are like what? 1-loss teams right now in the Big 12. No one's undefeated.
After
which is
Oklahoma's
crazy.
fall.
I think no one saw that coming. Everyone thought they were going to suck. And then the gambling stuff came out, and then everyone was like, well, yeah, they're definitely going to suck.
Oh, my goodness. I forgot about that.
Yeah. I've got Iowa State in this one.
Yeah, same here.
Kansas is ranked.
Kansas is ranked and coming off a big win against
Yeah.
Oklahoma. Could they just be riding off that high and overlooking an opponent? Possibly. We've seen that a couple of times this year. One example being Louisville. Give me Iowa State. I'm liking it.
Yeah, shocking.
All right.
All right. We already know who you're picking before this one's even said. BYU versus West Virginia.
Is it at night?
I think it's in the middle of the day.
Damn. West Virginia's going to win, but I got to pick BYU.
What, do they not win at night?
Oh, no. BYU only wins games at night.
Oh, interesting.
BYU's like a Twilight team for some reason.
Oh, yeah, you told me about
They're
that.
they're like vampires. They during the day they forget how to play football.
It's great.
Yeah, apparently.
I'm picking West Virginia in this one.
You'll never see me pick that team.
All right. Next game is Washington versus USC. Washington.
Golly, this is going to be a shootout. Neither of these teams have defenses. I honestly just want to watch this game and just bet the over, even if the over is like 100.
Yeah.
What is the over? I'm curious.
It's got to be pretty high. I mean, well, USC's last game, they won 50-49 against Cal. That was 99 points scored in the game. That's insane.
Yeah.
I'm taking Washington in this one. I think USC is kind of drowning right now.
Yeah.
Alex Grinch he's
over
got to go. And their O-line is just not good. So give me Washington.
Take a guess at what the over/under is.
I'm going to say 73.5.
It's 75.5.
Ooh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good for someone who does not gamble.
My goodness. Yeah. USC season is over. There's reports coming out that scouts want Caleb Williams to take off the rest of the season. To just save his stock, but he said that he's going to finish out the season with USC. Because he's out of the playoff. He's out of the Heisman contention at this moment in time.
Yeah. I mean, he was from the beginning.
People are calling him the best college quarterback, arguably, of all time, off of a pure talent base. Obviously not off of the accolades that he's done for his team. But, they're saying, like, he's ridiculously good. And he's probably going up against the Heisman winner this year at the moment, odds-on favorite.
I think the favorite is J.J. McCarthy.
I don't think so.
Not anymore? Well, anyway, while you're looking up, I'll set up the next one. This is not our game of the week, but it is game day.
Oh, makes sense.
Yep, it's going to be LSU versus Alabama at Alabama. Obviously, very similar scenario to last year.
Penix is the favorite right now. Penix is at plus
he moved back
270. J.J. McCarthy plus 300. Jaden Daniels 450. Bo Nix 550. Jordan Travis 750. And then the rest are like plus 1,400.
J.J. McCarthy moved in at 1 point, but Anyway, this is a very, very similar setup to last year. LSU was a 2-loss team. People weren't really paying attention to them yet, except people were obviously paying more attention to LSU this year because they had preseason hype.
They're
But
one of the
Alabama,
best offenses in the
oh my God,
nation.
they can put up points.
Yeah, they can.
Alabama they were coming off of a loss to Tennessee not that long ago, first loss of the year, and then they got stunned by LSU.
Right.
I'm going to take Alabama in this one. I've got Alabama with the revenge game.
I got LSU.
Yeah.
I think LSU's looking good, and I think it'll be a fun game to watch.
Oh, it should be some great games this week. Next, we've got UCLA versus Arizona. Arizona upset Oregon State last week. Didn't have their starting quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was hurt in that game. Actually, he was hurt to start the game. I don't think he played at all. So Arizona upset Oregon State with their backup quarterback, and then UCLA beat Colorado by a couple of possessions.
Okay.
I'm going to take Arizona in this one. It's at Arizona.
Give me the best team in LA right now.
The Rams.
Probably be the Chargers if we're being honest.
I don't know actually, but
Yeah, give me UCLA. Good win over Colorado. It's got they made Deion say some horrible things about his offensive line. So
all right. Deion catching strays.
what?
Next, we've got our game of the week decided by me because it is very important to the SEC East race. Missouri 7-1. They have one loss in the SEC, playing against Georgia, who is 8-0. No losses, obviously, in the SEC. The winner of this game most likely will represent the SEC East in the SEC championship. So,
give me the Bulldogs. It's gonna be Georgia, even without Brock Bowers.
yeah, see, if it were at Missouri,
Might be different.
it would be a different story, I think. But because it's at Georgia, because it's huge, I'm going to take Georgia in this one. It sucks because I was like, Georgia's going to lose a game. They're going to lose a game. And then you keep coming up to these games, and I'm like, I don't think Georgia's going to lose one. Even without Brock Bowers. I don't know if they're going to.
The schedule for Georgia
unless they
is
drop
ridiculously easy, and that's in the SEC.
Yeah, but the SEC is down this year.
Yeah.
But they do play Ole Miss still.
Yeah.
I will see. We're getting ahead of ourselves. I'm taking Georgia.
Right.
That's our picks.
No
As always, we'll have the picks up on YouTube for you to weigh in and make selections.
Yep.
Because you guys suck at it. You're terrible. Awful.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Appreciate you watching this episode of the College Town Podcast. We'll see you in the next one.